This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, we are going to discuss about Ajax controls. And we will see what exactly the Ajax controls, what is the use, and what Ajax controls has been given by Visual Force by default, and how to use them, we'll see practically. So basically, Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Then what is the use of these Ajax components? Generally, as of now, what we did, we have prepared so many Visual Force pages. And behind that Visual Force page, we have implemented so many business logics. So those business logic we have invoked manually. Like when you click on the button control, okay, when you click on the button control, it is performing the operation. When you refresh the page, it is performing that operation. That means what? We have to invoke those actions manually by our own, by clicking on the button control or by refreshing the page with the help of that F5 button also, or the refresh button also available on the page. But sometimes I don't want to invoke the actions manually by my own. I want to make those actions to be invocable automatically, asynchronously. Asynchronous means what? Automatically. It has to be get invoked. It has to be get executed. How frequently? Based on some events or based on some time. Based on some events or based on some time, I want to fire those actions. So at that time, we are going to be using the help of Ajax components or Ajax controls. Now, with the help of these Ajax components, we can able to invoke the business logic, or we can invoke the controller methods automatically based on some events and based on some time period. For that reason, we are using the help of Ajax. But basically, Ajax is a separate library. It's a separate library. Library means a group of ready-made functionalities. Ajax is a separate library which contains some thousands of classes, thousands of methods are available inside that. So which we have to install into our Salesforce organization, and then we have to use them in order to automate that. Okay, Ajax toolkit is separate. It's a separate toolkit. Toolkit means what? Which is having so many ready-made libraries, classes, methods are available inside that. But previously, we have to install that Ajax library and the toolkit into our local system. We have to use those classes to implement the business logic. But now, Salesforce has avoided that concept here. Salesforce has avoided that concept. No need to install any Ajax libraries into your Salesforce organization. No need to use the thousands of classes that Ajax functionalities has been given by the Salesforce in the form of Visual Force tags. Whatever the features are required as part of your Visual Force, now those Ajax functionalities has been given by Salesforce to you in the form of ready-made tags inside your Visual Force program. As part of Visual Force programming, we are having some set of ready-made tags which are having the Ajax components functionality inbuilt. It is having inbuilt functionality of Ajax components inside your Visual Force page tags. Then what are those tags are available here? So now by default, Visual Force provides some set of ready-made tags which contains the Ajax functionalities inbuilt. Now then what are those tags are available over here? So as part of this Ajax components, Salesforce has given 5 tags to you. Salesforce has given 5 tags to you. First one is action polar. The first tag is action polar. This is also called as Apex action polar. Now, as part of this Ajax components or the Ajax controls or action controls, we have a tag called as action polar tag. Second one, action support. We are having a tag called as Apex action support. Third one, action function. This can be denoted with the help of a tag called as action function. Fourth one, action status. This is also denoted with the help of action status. Fifth one, action region. Action region. So these are the 5 tags are available as part of Visual Force which are having Ajax functionalities inbuilt. We no need to use that Ajax library. We no need to use that Ajax toolkit manually by our own. We no need to write the thousands of lines of code. Salesforce has given those Ajax functionalities inside these 5 tags inbuilt. We can use this. We can use this Ajax components, Ajax controls, and then we can able to make that operations to be get executed automatically. Instead of invoking those operations manually, we can able to make that operations to be get executed automatically by default based on some certain events, based on some certain time period. Like for example, everybody is watching some cricket score. During the cricket matches time period, the people are watching the cricket score. So we have so many websites are available, so many applications are there which are providing the cricket scoreboard. So the cricket score is keep on updating for each and every ball, for each and every run, for each and every over. Cricket score is keep on updating. So now tell me, in order to see the latest score, we need to refresh the user interface for each and every fraction of second, for each and every fraction of minutes. No, we no need to refresh that user interface manually. That will be taking care automatically. Here for each and every fraction of seconds, that score will be keep on refreshing. That screen will be refreshing so that we can see the latest score. You can see the latest cricket score with the help of that automated process. We no need to refresh that screen manually. That will be refreshing automatically based on some each and every specific time interval. Like the similar way, we can able to go with these functionalities with the help of Ajax. So those Ajax functionalities we are having inbuilt inside this particular Ajax controls, which has been given by Visual Force by default to you. Now, so as part of these Ajax components, we are having that the 5 tags are available: action polar, action support, action function, action status, and the action region. These are the 5 controls are available, 5 tags are available, which are called as action controls, or these are also called as Ajax controls also both, which are used to invoke the actions automatically based on some certain time period or based on some certain event. Now, in this case, how can we use these tags? We'll see practically. From this one, action polar, action support, these two are very, very important. Remaining will be very less, okay? Very rare cases we'll use, but action polar, action support is the most important one in the real-time implementations. So now let's see in this case. So what exactly the action polar and what is it use? Action polar tag. So what is the use of this tag? Now let me explain practically here with some use case. Now, so what do you mean by this action polar tag? Now polling in the sense what? Keep on refreshing, keep on refreshing, keep on collecting, keep on getting the data, sending the request, getting the response. So action polar, nothing but it is going to be performing that actions keep on. It is keep on polling the actions. It is keep on refreshing the action methods. How frequently? Based on some time period. Simply in one word, I can say, if anybody is aware of Java.NET, there you will be having a component called as timer control. Timer control. To execute that action based on some specific time interval, the people are using timer control. Exactly similar way we have action polar. So what is this action polar tag? Action polar tag is going to be refreshing or executing that action method. It will be invoking that method for each and every specified time interval. For each and every specific time interval, because for every 5 seconds, for every 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 100 seconds, if you want to execute some method, if you want to refresh some part, then we can go with this action polar. So based on some specific time period, if you want to refresh some screens, if you want to execute some action based on some specific time interval, then we can use the help of action polar. Action polar tag is used to keep on invoking the request, okay, based on some specific time interval, and we can able to refresh that part of that page also. Instead of refreshing the whole page, we can refresh the part of the page also. The facility is available as part of this action polar. Then how can we use this action polar tag? What are the various properties are available, and how to implement that? We'll see with a practical example also. Now, action polar. This tag is used to invoke the control action methods for each specified time interval. Based on the specified time interval, if you want to execute that functionality, then we are using the help of action polar tag. It contains the partial page refreshment. It contains the partial page refreshment feature. That means what? We can able to refresh that part of the page also. Instead of refreshing the whole page, we can able to refresh the part of the page also. Only specific page block we can refresh. Only a specific component also we can refresh. That possibility is available as part of this action polar. So action polar tag is used to keep on invoke the request based on some specific time interval. Based on the specified time interval, if you want to execute some actions, keep on, then we can use the help of action polar. Now, as part of this action polar tag, what are the various properties available? The first property is ID property. ID property is used to represent the reference name. In order to identify each and every action polar tag, we are going to be using this ID property. Next, action. Action property is used to specify the method name. It is used to specify the method name. That means which method you want me to execute keep on for each and every time period. For each and every time period. So now, which method you want me to execute? We have to specify that method name. So which method you want me to execute? And then how frequently you want to execute, so that we have to specify the interval. There is a property called as interval property. We have to specify the time in seconds. We have to specify the time period in terms of seconds. For 5 seconds or 10 seconds, 20 seconds, how frequently you want me to execute that piece of code? How frequently you want me to execute that method? You have to specify the time period, in terms of seconds inside a property called as interval. And the fourth property. So for each and every specified time period, suppose for example, if I'm giving the value like as some 5, for every 5 seconds, so please execute this method. Once the method has been executed, then you want me to refresh that entire page, or you want me to refresh a particular part. You want me to execute a particular part, then we can specify that re-render property. Re-render equals to, we can able to specify the component name, component reference name, so which you would like to refresh over here. Component reference name which you would like to refresh for each and every period of time. So that here by using this action polar tag, we can able to refresh that specific part of the page for each and every specified time interval. For every 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. If you want to execute that piece of code, if you want to refresh a particular part of the page, then we can use the help of the action polar tag. Now, so for example, if you want to use this action polar tag, we have to specify action polar. You can specify action property. Action equals to, you can specify the method name. You have to specify the method name, which method you would like to execute, and then specify the interval. Interval equals to, I'm indicating like some 10 seconds. For each and every 10 seconds, it will be executing that, and then you can specify the re-render. Re-render equals to, you can able to specify the component ID. Component reference. We have
Sir,
to specify.
like will it refresh a single field or a section, sir?
Yes, yes, you can specify which field you want to refresh or which section you want to refresh. You can specify that multiple components also. Suppose if you want to refresh a single field, that field ID we can pass over here. Okay, if you want to refresh a page block, then you can pass the page block ID over here. That's which part you want to refresh, you can indicate that. Now, then how can we use this action polar? Now let's see practically in this case. So let's take a small use case. For example, let me take our Salesforce instance. For example, let me take that case objects, case records. How many case records are available right now? I want to collect that. Open cases are 9, and then all cases. 22 case records are available. Now, I want to collect these case records. I want to collect all these case records from my case object, and I want to represent those case records on the user interface. And that user interface, I want to refresh for each and every 5 seconds. That means in the background, if somebody has created any new case in this meantime, then that case also it has to be visible to me. Okay, it has to show that case record also to me, okay, by using that refresh. Now, so in this case, I want to collect all the case records available inside the object, and then those case records I would like to represent, and keep on I would like to refresh that part, okay, for each and every 5 fraction of seconds. Then what I will do in the background, I will create some case record to developer console. Then it has to display those records. So it has to refresh that user interface for each and every 5 fraction of seconds. So if somebody is creating some new cases in the background also, then those case records also it has to display to me over here. Without refreshing the page by my own, it has to refresh the user interface automatically. Then how can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, let's take a small use case. Design a Visual Force page to represent all the case records in the tabular format. And refresh the user interface and refresh the page for each 10 seconds or for each and every 5 seconds to reload, to load the latest data, the latest case record. Now, so I want to design a user interface or a pivotal post page, which is used to represent all the case records available inside my case object in the form of a tabular format. And then I want to refresh that page for each and every 5 seconds. For every 5 seconds, I would like to refresh that page, and then I would like to reload that data. I would like to display that data, okay, inside my result first page by refreshing that information, by getting the latest information from that case object. Then how to do that? Now let's see practically in this case.
Sir, there is a problem in your voice.
Yeah, tell me. Is my voice audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so let's see here. How can we do that? So now I would like to design the user interface to represent the case records. So let me design a visual first page. I'm preparing a visual first page. Show all case records page. Show all case records page. I'm creating a visual first page with the name show all case records page, which is used to display all the case records information available inside my object. Now, so there is no page has been designed with this name, so I'm creating a new page. So click on this name, so a page will be getting designed for you. Now, so now write the default properties over here. Setup equals to false. Sidebar equals to false. Show header equals to true. Tab style equals to solution object tab style. I would like to apply. I'm preparing the section header. Title equals to cases. Subtitle equals to all. I'm defining the form tag. Here I'm placing that page block. I'm giving the title equals to all cases. Okay, all cases. Here I would like to show the count also. How many number of case records are available inside my case object? I want to show this. For that one, I'm adding this. I'm having a page block also. Now, inside this page block, I would like to prepare a table. In that table, I want to show all the case records. So whatever the case records are available inside my case object, I want to collect all the case records. Those records I want to represent inside my result first page in the tabular format. Now, so now let's see how can we do this one. Now, so for this one to collect all the case records, okay, we are going to be using the business logic. So let me prepare the business logic. I'm using that controller. Controller equals to all case record controller. Controller equals to show all case records controller. Let me save this. The class is not yet defined, so I'm creating this class by click on this. Click on the link, it is going to be creating the new process. So let's go to the controller class and then prepare the method in order to collect all the cases. I'm preparing a method. Public void get all case records. I'm preparing a method. Inside this method, I would like to collect all the case records by using an SQL query. So in this case, I would like to collect the recently created case records. Okay, recently created case records. Okay, first, I want to display those things. I want to arrange the case record based on the case number. Based on the case number, I would like to arrange the records in the descending order. Or else you can use that created by also. Okay, based on the created by date also, we can able to arrange the records in the descending format so that we can see the recently created cases first. Whenever the customer has raised a complaint, that complaint should be visible first now so that we can see, oh, this is a new case which has been received right now. Now, in this case, I'm collecting the case records. I'm collecting the case ID and the case number, case status, case priority, case type, case origin, case reason, created date, case subject, from case subject, order by, created date, this. That means whatever the case record that you want, that we have inside the case subject, I would like to collect all the case records available inside the subject, and then those case records I would like to represent in the tabular format. And upon arranging those records, I would like to arrange the records in the form of the tabular format by arranging them based on the created date in the descending format so that recently created cases will be visible first. Now, these case records I want to represent on my tabular format and my visual perspective. For that one, we have to store them into a collection. So here I'm going to preparing a collection in the class level with the get insert list of case lst cases. I'm making it as get insert. I'm preparing the object of this case collection. lst cases equals to new list of case. Here I'm indicating lst cases. So I'm collecting the case records. Okay, I'm collecting all the case records, and then those case records I'm going to storing inside my collection. This collection I want to place represent inside my page black table in my visual post page. And then this particular method I would like to refresh every time, okay, for each and every 5 fraction of seconds. For every 5 fraction of seconds, I would like to collect that. Now yes. So now here I'm collecting this all the case records now stored inside my collection. Now I want to represent these case records inside my visual first page so that whatever the collection in which all the cases information is available, bind this collection to the page black table so that we can represent that. Now, so let me show you these cases. I would like to prepare a page black table. Page black table. I'm preparing the properties. Value equals to, we can specify the collection name, that is LST cases. Where property equals to, I'm indicating some CS. There is a case record. And then add the columns. Apex column value equals to CS dot status. Apex column value equals to CS dot, I would like to indicate the case of priority. Apex column value equals to CS dot origin. Apex column value equals to CS dot type. Apex column value equals to CS dot reason. Apex column value equals to CS dot subject. I'm indicating that the case status, case priority, case origin, case type, case reason, and the case subject. Along with that, I want to display the case number also. Case number I want to display in the form of a hyperlink. So that here I'm going to be indicating this. Based on that case number, I would like to open the case record. Now I'm indicating that column tag by Apex column. Here I'm indicating that header value equals to case number. I'm indicating that Apex output link. Output link, I'm indicating that case number order. CS dot case number. I want to redirect the user to this particular case upon click on this case number. So for that one, I'm indicating this, the value property inside my output link tag. Value equals to slash, we can specify that cs dot id. Based on the case record ID, I'm refreshing, I'm redirecting the user. And the target equals to, I'm indicating underscore plan. So now here, along with that, I would like to implement that. I would like to display the number of cases are available. LST cases dot size. LST cases dot size. So now here in this case, I'm going to be collecting all the case records available inside this object, and then I would like to represent those cases inside my Visual Force page in the tabular format. The case number should be visible. Okay, the case number should be visible. Okay, in the form of hyperlink. So upon click on that case number, it has to redirect the user to that case record. That means it has to open that respective case record. Now, so now let's see how can we represent this one. So whenever my page is getting loaded, I want to collect those case records. I want to represent over here. I want to represent. So for that reason, I'm going to be indicating this. So I would like to call the method. So action property equals to call this method. Whenever the page is getting loaded, I would like to call that method. So what is my method name? I would like to collect that method, get all case records. I'm invoking this method. Whenever my page is getting loaded, this method will be getting invoked. It will collect all the case records, and those case records information will be getting visible to me over here. These are the various cases are available here. These are the various cases are available. So we are going to be arranging this case records information, okay, based on that created date in the descending format. Now, so in this case, these are the case records are available inside my case object over here. Now here, whenever once you click on this case record, that case record will be getting opened automatically by default. The case number is 100026. That case record will be getting opened automatically. 1026 case record has been opened. Now, so now let's go with this one here. So now I want to refresh this user interface for each and every few fraction of seconds. Suppose, for example, assume that it is showing the 25 cases. Suppose I'm going back to the developer console. There, I would like to create a case record. Okay, I would like to create a case record. I'm creating a case record here by using the developer console. Through backend, I'm creating a case record through data loader also, through third party also, through integrations also, or by using another user also, no problem. I'm creating one case record here from the background process. I'm creating a new case record. Now, how to create the case record? You know, case some CS equals to new case. I'm passing that field values here. Case dot reason. Reason equals to, I'm going to be indicating performance issue. Case dot type. It is a mechanical problem. Case dot origin. I'm indicating web. Through web, they have raised the case. CS dot status equals to new. CS dot priority. I'm indicating high. CS dot subject. I'm indicating sample test case. Or else I'm giving some subject over here. Now, I'm unable to have the video calls. with my webcam. I'm indicating the case description, case dot description. I'm indicating dear customer support. I'm unable to make the video calls with my recently purchased webcam. Please have a look into the issue. And so here I'm indicating that. I'm indicating the case description, case subject, case priority, case status, case origin, case type, and the case reason. Then I would like to insert the case record. Insert case. I'm inserting the case record over. Suppose I'm executing this piece of code. Request has been sent. It is creating a case record. When you go to the user interface, now tell me, are you able to see that latest case information? No. I'm unable to see that latest case information over here. Suppose when you refresh this one, then only we can see that case information. Then you can see that 1027. So I'm unable to have the video calls with my webcam. You have to refresh that. That even manually we have to refresh this one. Then only we can able to see the latest data inside your user interface. But now what I want to do is, I don't want to refresh my user interface manually. I want to make that process automated. It has to refresh that page automatically for each and every 5 fraction of seconds. Now, so in this case, what we can do? For that one, I would like to use that action polar. How to use this action polar now, let's see. Inside this form tag, use that action polar tag. Apex action polar. Action polar, we can specify the action method. Which method you want me to invoke? This is the method I would like to invoke. This is the method which I would like to invoke. How frequently? For each and every 5 seconds. Interval equals to 5 seconds. Which part you want me to refresh? You can specify the re-render. Don't refresh that whole page. Please refresh only this particular page block so that I'm indicating the ID. For this page block, I'm indicating PG block. So this is a page block which I would like to refresh. I would like to refresh this particular page block inside. So here I'm going to be invoking this method for each and every 5 fraction of seconds, and it has to reload this particular page block so that it can show the latest data also. Now let's save this code. So from here onwards, it is going to be refreshing this particular page block for each and every 5 fraction of seconds. In this meantime, if we create any record in the background, it will be loading automatically over here. Like for example, here assume that I'm going to be executing the same piece of code. Now I'm executing this. Click on execute, go back to the user interface. No need to refresh that. It will be refreshing for each and every 5 fraction of second. Let's see here. So it is going to be indicating 27. For every 5 fraction of seconds, code will be getting refreshed. So now execute it. You can see it will be refreshing for every 5 fraction of seconds automatically. Not 28 case records are there. Now the case record has been created. I'm going to be executing this case over here. Execute and then execute 2 times here. Now it is loading that here. For every 5 fraction of seconds, it is loading that, reloading the page again and again and again. So that we no need to do that. We no need to refresh this page manually. It will be automatically refreshing the page based on that specified time period. It may be 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 20 seconds. Depends upon your requirement. We can able to add that. Based on your requirement, we can specify the time period. Based on the time period, it is going to be refreshing that respective page for each and every fraction of seconds. This is how we are going to be using that action polar tag. So inside the form level, we have to place this action polar tag. In that one, we have to give the values for the respective properties. Okay, action property, and then we have to specify the interval property, and then we have to specify the re-render property. So that for every 10 fraction of seconds, it will be refreshing the page, and we can able to get the latest data as well. This is how we are going to be using this action polar tag inside your Salesforce instance. Now, let me place this code. Now let me place this piece of code also. Now, so this is the way we are using the help of action polar tag. Next one is pick list controls. Pick list control. How can we design the pick list control on your Visual Force page? As of now, we have placed output link also, text boxes also, button controls also, command links also, everything we have placed. How to prepare pick list control? How to prepare checkbox? How to prepare radio button? How to prepare multi-select pick list values? Now let's see practically. Now how to prepare a pick list control?
Firoz,
Whenever
one
you
question.
want to prepare a pick list control, yeah, tell me.
So this pick list control is also a part of Ajax?
Sorry?
This pick list control is also a part of Ajax?
No. It's a normal part of that the Visual Force. Because as part of Ajax, I would like to use this pick list control as well. That's what I'm giving this information. Okay. Now I would like to define a pick list control which can able to represent some set of options from which the user can select only one option. Now, let's see here in this case. For example, I would like to have a pick list control. I would like to place a pick list control with the name some country, which should populate some set of options inside this. So it should populate some set of options inside this. I would like to have a pick list control. Whenever if you want to prepare some pick list control, then we have to use the help of a tag called as select list tag. Apex select list. Select list, nothing but it is populating some list of elements. From that one, select any one of the elements. So the meaning of the select list tag is it is populating some list of elements, a list of values. From this one, please select only one value from there. For that reason, we are going to be using the select list tag. Select list tag is used to prepare a pick list control. Okay, now. So now here in this case, how can we use this select list tag? What are the various properties are available? Now let me explain here. As part of the select list tag, we are having the various properties. The first property is label property. Label property. Label property is used to specify the caption, nothing but the label. Label for the pick list. That means what? Label means what? Whenever I'm using this simply select list tag, it is preparing the pick list like this, but it won't provide any label. Then how can we understand here? So here I'm giving some label like as select the country. Okay, select the country. So we are going to be populating this option label here. For that one, to specify this label, we are using this label property. So label property is used to indicate the caption or the label for the pick list control. Okay. So now this label property is used to specify the caption or label for the pick list control. Next, the second property is multi-select. Multi-select. So now the second property is multi-select equals to Boolean property. That means you want a normal pick list, you want a multi-select pick list. We can specify. You want a normal pick list, you want a multi-select pick list. If you want the multi-select pick list, then we can select the option as true, or else we have to select the option as false. Next, the third one, size property. Size property is used to indicate the integer, which will be indicating how many number of elements you want me to display at a time. Suppose if it is a normal pick list, it will display only one value at a time. Suppose if it is a multi-select pick list, then we can decide how many elements to be visible at a time, so that we are using the property called as size property. And the fourth property is we have to specify the rendered. In order to display this control or not, we are using the property called as rendered property, which will be indicating true or false values, which is used to indicate whether this particular pick list control to be visible on the user interface or not. And the fifth property is used to specify the ID. ID is used to specify the component reference, nothing but reference name. In order to give the reference name, we are using the property called as ID property. Next, sixth property is called as value property. Value property is used to indicate the variable name. You can specify the variable name, which is used to specify whenever I'm going to selecting some option over here. Suppose, for example, I'm selecting the country as some India. Whenever I'm selecting the country as India, that India related, okay, API name should be storing in which variable over here. What are the value we have selected, that currently selected values, a key should be stored inside the which variable. So we have to indicate that value property. In this value property, we have to specify the variable name in which the respective key will be getting resides inside this. These are the 6 properties are available as part of your pick list control. So now when coming to the pick list control, simply we are going to be indicating the pick list control by specifying the label property, and then we can specify the multi-select property, size, rendered, ID, and the value. But we haven't added any elements over there. There is no elements inside this particular pick list control. Okay, there is no elements available inside this. Then how can we add the elements? We'll see practically in this case. How can we add the elements? Okay, we'll see practically in this case. Now, in order to add the elements, we are going to be using the various 2 more tags over here.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes. Hello. Can you guys hear anything?
No. He's on mute.
Oh. Yeah, he's on mute. Okay.
Now, so now let's see how can we add the elements inside this. Whenever if you want to prepare that pick list control, okay, we are going to be using the help of select a list tag. Suppose if you want to add the elements, now, so how to add the elements inside this? Whenever if you want to add the elements, okay, then we have to use a tag called as select option tag. Apex select option tag, and then we have one more tag, select options. Two tags are available. Select option, select options. So what is the difference between the select option and select options? Select option tag is used to add only one option to this particular pick list control. That means in order to add one value to the pick list control, to add one element at a time, we are using select option. To add multiple elements in one shot, we are using select options tag. Okay, select option tag is used to add only one element to the pick list control at a time. Select options tag is used to add multiple elements to the pick list control at a time. So in this case, how to add these pick list controls, and then how can we add the elements? Okay, we will see. Now, so as part of the select option tag here, how to add the elements? What are the various properties are available as part of the select option tag? Now let's see in this case. Select option tag. Inside this, we are going to be adding the properties. The first property is so the first property is item label. Item label equals to specify the label to be get visible in that list control, and the item value. Item value is equals to which will be returning as a backend over here, which will be returning as a backend. Here you can specify the value, item value. These are the two properties are available: item label and the item value. Now, so as part of the select option tag, we have two properties are available: item label and the item value. Item label property is used to specify the label to be visible inside this pick list control. Item value is used to indicate the background value, nothing but which will be returning to you as a result. Upon selecting this item, it will be returning to you as a backend over here. This is like as a key, this is like as a value over here. Okay, like as a map collection. Internally, picklist is supporting map collection format here. So whenever I'm selecting the key, respective value will be getting visible to you over here. So in this case, how can we prepare this picklist controls by using this select list tag and the select option tag? We'll see in tomorrow's session. In tomorrow's session, we'll see the select list tag, select option, and how to add the elements to the pick list control manually, how to add the elements dynamically through programming, how can we select those elements, and how can we use this action support tag. We'll see practically over here in tomorrow's session. Okay, in tomorrow's session, we'll see the continuation concept here. Okay, how can we use this action controls aligned with this pick list control? We'll see practically.